We're live. Give me un momento as we're getting this setup going here, folks. Sorry about that. All right. Lots to set up. Botched, kind of like the main event. We're going to get into all of that stuff. But before we do, I wanted to let you guys know that we do have a special AEW Revolution countdown that we are going to start off with. It is a song actually by my man Ant. Ant Won't Stop. He's in the chat. In the description box is all his information if you want to subscribe to his YouTube channel. Check out his Spotify, and you can follow him on Twitter at Ant Won't Stop. So show my guy some love for this.
So listen in, let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson. Yes, everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you.
Look, I don't mean wrong, I heard they need a theme song. Execs rejecting me, telling me to dream on. I just wanna make it big and put my team on. Haters say I need a certain flow to lean on, but I ain't with that ish, baby, I don't follow trends. I feel like Orange Cassidy around my best friends. Nothing's forever, so I'm hoping that this thing will last. Irish whip you, then I hit you with that stinger splash. Wildin' when I hit the scene with my new team. Coffin drop from the top like it's routine. I heard you need a lesson, I'ma have your order ready. I'm far from ordinary, got the dark order ready. Entering the ladder match, I need that title shot. There's still an opening, I can take that final spot. Always the same winners, I can make that cycle stop. Face of the revolution, I can make that title pop. This one's for you.
All right, everybody. We're back, ready to do this review, man. I have been getting messages out the wazoo. That's what actually took me a minute before I started. Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. I'm your host, Conrad Cushman, joined tonight by my co-host, Derek.
What's up, y'all? D
is in the house. AEW Revolution, bro. I don't know what to say. I think it might just be easiest to start from the top, I guess.
Let's do it.
You sound excited about this. The overall feel of this show is going to feel weird, so just brace yourselves for that. And I'll be looking into the chat box to see what you guys thought about a lot of this as well. So do me a favor, if you guys are in here and you want to help out, do me a favor. The easiest way to help a brother out is to come on up, hit that like button, and then subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button, and if you want to be notified anytime we go live, click the bell and you will be notified anytime Everything Pro Wrestling goes live to do a podcast. So make sure you guys check that out for me as well. Appreciate you guys for that. And you know, the like button helps in all the YouTube algorithms and such. But AEW Revolution, I don't know, Derek. I don't know. This is gonna be, like I said, a very, very weird one. Jim Ross tonight, he first comes out, and Jim Ross has like a sore throat while he's doing this. Like, I felt that was very different, we'll say.
Yeah, I felt like he shouldn't have gone on with it, I guess. I mean, or at least
would you have told him no, or would you have just said like, "Hey, JR, listen, bro, you're gonna have to slow it down here."
I think at this point in time, I mean, JR is at the point where it's just kind of like you can't really tell him no.
Right, and if he wants to do it and he feels comfortable, let him.
Yeah.
Let him go. What's going on? I see Ant Won't Stop in the chat. Ant, I appreciate you, fam. Thank you so much. And thank you for the intro, man. Dope. I got the video in there. I remember before I was having a hard time getting it in, but I figured it out. Also, shout out to the mods in the chat. My man Ace World and my boy Jesus DeLeon. What's going on? Rob is here as well. Hey, what's going on, Jocelyn? Coming through for the like. I'll listen later. Enjoyed the show, guys. Thank you, Jocelyn. I appreciate you. BJ, what's going on? Yeah, we're going to talk about all this. I promise you we'll get into it. Everybody wants to talk about that main event ending. B-Boy Skyline's also in here. Ray, thank you, guys. Eric Brennan, appreciate you, Tokyo Rockstar. If I missed you, I apologize. Put a comment in and I will get to you. But the buy-in, man. We had for the buy-in Dr. Britt Baker opening things up for it with it was supposed to be Britt Baker and Rebel versus Rio and Thunder Rosa. Unfortunately, Rebel, Reba, you're gonna hear me go back and forth with this. I'm calling her Rebel, I believe, for this. Rebel was actually injured.
Yes.
During the beatdown from Nyla Rose, finger quotes, because Britt Baker wrote the note, but then she got someone else to write another note for her, whatever it turns into. So she needed a replacement. Who is the replacement? Maki Ito. Everybody's been going crazy for her on Twitter. She calls people simps. They love her. Whatever. Maki Ito is the replacement for her. I thought that was a wise choice for how much everybody was going crazy for her.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good choice to get Maki Ito in there. My first time seeing her, I won't say I was
simp. No.
Enough with the simp shit, man.
I'm just saying that's what she calls people.
She's a simp.
Yo, listen, it's not her fault that people fangirl over her and love her. But I like Maki Ito. She did a lot of different things in this. She was in there with Rio. Rio and Britt Baker started off, and then once Thunder Rosa, Maki Ito, and all them get in there, lots of middle fingers to the face from Ito and Thunder Rosa. And that's kind of her gimmick, that she does the middle fingers and like all the bad language on Twitter and stuff. All part of it. And the other part of the gimmick is she's got a hard head.
Yeah. How did Excalibur know that?
Yo, Excalibur knows everything because he does his homework, Derek. This is what I try to teach Derek on the podcast. If Derek took some notes, a little initiative, watched some Impact Wrestling, he would know what's going on sometimes. But Derek just refuses, and then he pleads ignorance when it's time. Not fair, right?
I'm not touching Impact.
Anywho, I did like one spot in this match that I have to bring up. There are not a lot of notes for some of these matches, by the way. Rio went for the running knee, and it got reversed into a half crab. Lance Storm better be somewhere smiling, because that made me proud. I was like, that was a damn good reversal.
Yeah, that was an excellent, smooth transition there. Like, that's one of those transitions where you can hit that perfectly, or you can botch that perfectly.
Perfectly transitioned. I like that. Thunder Rosa hits the Death Valley driver, but Maki Ito comes in and makes the save. Thunder driver reverse, and Rebel uses the crutch behind the referee's back. She actually caught Thunder Rosa pretty good. Yeah, right in the face. 1, 2, 3. Britt Baker and Maki Ito win. Honestly, I couldn't figure out who the replacement person was going to be, but if I would have known it was Maki Ito, I definitely would have picked Britt Baker and Maki Ito to win. I actually picked Thunder Rosa and Rio, so I'll take the L on that one. We gave this a B-.
Yeah.
On the card. I thought it was all right. It was hovering around that C range. Also on the main card, then we'll just go right into that. They had like a little memorial for Jim Crockett Jr. I thought that was a nice touch. I appreciate them for that. I'm tired of saying RIP this year, man. It's just, Jesus, way too many people have been passing away in the wrestling world, in the regular world too, man. It's just absolutely nuts. So prayers to the Crockett family. We are thinking about Jim Crockett Jr. The explosion had layers. We'll get to that. BJ said Maki is amazing. I joined the Respect Army. B-Boy Skyline said Maki is my queen. You see what I'm talking about here, Derek? You see what I'm talking about? That's why she says that word. I'm telling you. Love the different subtleties. Simps, Robert said in the chat. See the style, she said. She says she loves the different styles. I think it's okay. Honestly, I'm going to say something pretty bold here. I will say since 2021 has started, the AEW women's division has been much, much better, in my opinion, than it was last year.
I agree.
I know a lot of people are going to give us shit for that, but that's what I believe.
Well, go ahead, give the shit, because I'm going to give the shit back. It has been improved since the beginning of 2020.
Chris DeZuba must have heard you swearing, because
what's up, Chris?
He came in here. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, brother. Rob, you're goddamn right. I am a simp for. See, you can't argue it when people say this. John Silver is too, so don't worry about it, Skyline. And then he throws up the hand too.
Enough of the simp.
I'll tell you about it when we get to the end. Thank you, BJ. I appreciate that. I don't know. I didn't see that yet, so definitely. But let's keep it moving with this. We open up with the AEW Tag Team titles. The shirt I'm rocking tonight is the Young Bucks. And I know that makes Rob mad, so I'm just going to give a second here and do the little pose. The little Young Buck pose. Woo, woo. Anyway, Chris Jericho and MJF with Wardlow versus the Young Bucks. This comes in after Papa Buck, a.k.a. Steven Seagal, b.k.a. the Young Bucks' father. I don't even know what else I can say.
CKA Papa Daddy with the jelly on the face.
The jelly donut on the face. So this match got personal. I like this. I thought the Young Bucks were cutting better promos when it was something that was a little more personal to them. Because sometimes I think they get a little wonky sometimes in the promos and they're being too silly for my personal taste.
Yeah, they definitely get off track when they do the promos a lot. And this one was real focus based. So that promo was excellent. Very well received by me. I don't know how about you guys, but I liked it.
I thought they did well to build up to this. So the Bucks came out. They were ready to fight in this matchup. The dollar bills were out. Derek and me just wonder who the hell's got to clean all that shit up. Somebody with the leaf blower's like, I hate this entrance. Gotta be. The Bucks come out. They're ready to fight. They're immediately just like leg sweeping and punching on them. Makes sense for what it was. Wardlow ends up low bridging Matt. Matt's got the bad back, the thing they always play off of on BTE. So that becomes the focus of the match. Matt is the focus for most of the attack for MJF and Chris Jericho in this matchup. Chris Jericho eventually takes a bat to Matt Jackson's back. That's hard to say. Holy shit.
Yo, I'm not even going to try
a bat to Matt Jackson's back, and MJF hits the Heat Seeker for a 2 count. Now, I could not believe that he kicked out of that. I thought that was a little too much. I was like, come on, bro. You got hit with a bat and this dude's finisher, and you're kicking out? Because I feel like if it was a one-on-one match, that would have ended the match. But they're fighting for daddy. Cool. We'll let it go.
CKA.
This match I thought was really, really good, though. Wardlow accidentally gets hit with the Judas effect by Chris Jericho. Layers. Seed planting. All right.
Layers.
Super kick city for everybody in this. Like, there's a super kick. The BTE trigger gets hit on Chris Jericho. MJF comes in, makes the valiant save. Super kick city. It's just super kick, thigh slap. And just know there's going to be a thigh slap joke tomorrow on BTE. I'm calling it. I'm going to predict it's in the opener, just a guess. But there's super kicks everywhere. And then eventually the Meltzer driver is hit on Chris Jericho for the 1, 2, 3. Jericho is pinned. Another, pay attention. Mm-hmm. Another layer to it. I thought this was a really good match, Derek. B+ was. This might be close enough to say match of the night.
I don't think I can argue. I don't think I can argue that.
I think you can argue for other matches, but I'm not going to. And I apologize. I take notes the old school way, notebook paper. So if you hear the notebook pages turning, there's some notes for this. But we went with a B+ for this match.
Wow, that felt like after you said the notebook pages turning, bro. That brought me back to like 3rd grade.
It's not a composition notebook. I'm a grown man.
No, I'm just saying.
It's like, a 5-star notebook.
No, I'm just saying. Like, remember growing up as a kid, we always had to listen to the little tape say, "Turn the page."
Okay, so Rob said to check your phone when you get to the ending. All right, remind me once we get to that main event, guys, that it's on my phone, and BJ, you can remind me too. Queen of Indies, I love the floor with the money. See? As long as you're not the one cleaning it up, it's all good. Yeah. Great entrance. Yes, and Ace World brought up who's next in line. That is a good point. Maybe we find out on the next BET tomorrow where Shaq went. He went to the All-Star game is where he went.
Yeah. Yo, hoops.
We played a tough game out there.
I'm injured. I can't go back.
Shout out to my man Rich Latta. He just definitely released a dope track about the 01 Lakers. I actually love that song. Casino Tag Team Royale. This one was interesting, I thought.
Very. This
had the Natural Nightmares starting off versus the Dark Order's 5 and 10. Shut the fuck up, 5. They went in here and they did really well. I think 10 and 5 aren't bad. I think they're like the slept on people in the Dark Order, and they're starting to get recognized a little bit more.
I would definitely agree with that. They have been low key putting in a lot of work lately that has somewhat gone unnoticed, but somewhat hasn't gone unnoticed. So I don't know. I you know me. This is where I stand. So
stop it. Santana and Ortiz are next to come out. They come in here. A lot of people predicted them to be their winners, and I wasn't mad at it. Santana and Ortiz deserve better. I'm just going to go on a little miniature rant right now. Like, these guys have been, I don't know if the inner circle's holding them back or whatever. Yes. They're in this weird position, and I don't know why they haven't excelled yet, but I still do think that they're going to be the AEW Tag Team Champions eventually.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're being held back by the inner circle. This was just something that they were thrown into until they started building up the roster for AEW. But now I feel like it's time for them to leave so they can do their own thing and finally get the tag team titles, because they definitely do deserve it.
Right? QT Marshall hits a diamond cutter on 5 after. He's the first one eliminated from the match. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are next out. Then we had the Gun Club come out. I will say this. The Gun Club looked a lot better than they were like a few months ago when they were in Battle Royals and stuff. Gun Club looked like they knew what they were doing. Austin Gunn, I swear, reminds me of Billy Gunn. Like, he hits the moves perfectly like him and everything.
That famous shit was beautiful.
It was, dude. And the boy's got bars, if you don't know. Check out Sammy's vlog if you don't know. He's got bars. QT then eliminates the Gun Club. And I see everybody in the chat talking about what happened with QT Marshall. So, if you don't watch Sammy's vlogs, you guys may not see that they've been teasing a potential heel turn for QT coming along. Now, I'm not saying you have to watch it to understand why he's turning heel, because the Lee Johnson thing explained why, he didn't give me any credit. I don't like this, that I'm part of this nightmare family. QT Marshall is getting like pissed off kind of, and he eliminates him. It's every man for himself. I don't know what Dustin's pissed about. Dustin goes, hey, what are you doing? They're supposed to be with us. And QT Marshall says, you know what? Screw you. And then he goes over the top rope himself and leaves Dustin alone in the match. Right. I think QT's going to make a great heel if you watch Sammy's vlogs. I'm telling you guys this. I know I'm advertising their YouTube shows, and some people say, well, I don't want to watch the YouTube show to understand stuff. You don't need to, but you're going to get a glimpse into why QT would make a great heel.
Right.
He does little prickish things on there that you're just like, oh, that was so good. That's so much better than the character he's playing in the Natural Nightmares with the apple and shit.
Right, and sometimes subtle things mean bigger things.
Shout out to Matt Lopez, who has joined us as well in the chat. Matt, what's good, brother?
What's up, Matt?
Fuego del Sol versus QT. See, B-Boy Skyline knows. He watches it. Dustin's pissed afterwards. Here comes Bear Country. These dudes were amazing. They kind of stood out as like, yo, these boys could be some forces to be reckoned with if they put them in the tag division.
Yes.
They showed power, intensity. They were everything that we always wanted, like, sorry, we're going to do a comparison. What I want a Heavy Machinery to be. They did that in this, and I thought they looked really good. Jurassic Express come out. The Butcher and the motherfucking Blade. They come out, and I was hyped for them. Shout out to Westside Gun, also a Buffalo guy just like me. And he just opened up a clothing store, Buffalo Kids. If you guys saw it, I tweeted it. And in the artwork for it, he has the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny in it. And some people were asking around here, like, if they didn't watch wrestling, who are these people? And I'm like, if you didn't know, boop, AEW wrestlers. just absolutely cool to see that stuff. So I thought it was really dope. Shout out to the Butcher and Blade representing Buffalo.
Yep.
Private Party come out. SCU, Pac and Phoenix, Silver and Reynolds, and everybody's in. Eliminations are happening. I couldn't keep up with it after a while. And eventually we get down to the final 4. And I will say this.
Hold on.
Oh, wait. Derek has a message for this during the part of the match. I forgot your note for this.
Slow the fuck down. Everybody got into this match and was... They were messing up spots, messing up moves. Didn't know what the hell they were doing. Slow down. You don't have to rush. You got time. You got time. Just make it crisp. Don't try to do too much. Like I didn't understand. Like every single person that was coming in here was just like, ooh, 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 ooh. Relax.
I feel you. Listen.
Breathe.
I'm going to the chat real quick. Matt Lopez said QT could be a great heel. Ant Won't Stop said true that. QT would make an awesome heel. Sick, what is good, man? Thank you for joining us, brother. The YouTube show helps builds the stories. Queen of the Indies said so awesome. I agree, Tiff. Bear Country versus Butcher and the Blade will be a fun physical match when it happens. Oh, I think it's happening sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Let's see here. We're gonna get to that, man. We'll get to that, Sick, at the end. But we get to the final 4. Oh, and by the way, another funny line. When the Butcher got eliminated tonight, Jim Ross, the best line of the night was, I just jinxed his big ass. Bitch ass. No, he was like, I just jinxed his big ass. And I just busted out laughing. I don't know why that made me laugh. Funny shit.
It was unexpected, man. You don't...
It's just, Jim Ross is just that funny, crotchety old dude now that I just laugh at. It's still good, but it's just like, JR, what? Right. Where do you come up with this?
Right.
But we get down to the final 4. Pac, John Silver, Johnny Hungy, Phoenix, and Jungle Boy. Silver's the first one out. By the way, his Sting bit from last BTE, freaking hilarious, where he's doing the ow, ow, and they're yelling it, and all of a sudden they hear, shut the fuck up. That must be Sting. And it was Eddie Kingston, but great stuff. Silver's out. Jungle Boy's in there alone. Jungle Boy kicked ass in this match, by the way. Like, once he came in, it was over. And that damn song is over.
Yes, it is.
Tarzan Boy is over. I'm telling you, they're going to be singing that and Judas. Don't let these people come back and not sing this. You better be practicing. You better get your lyrics together. If you're going to an AEW event, they're going to be looking at you like, don't mess this up with us now. Come on.
You get it down packed. Let's go. We've been practicing. Have you?
Well, I definitely practiced Judas because I didn't want to look like a fool, but I've been listening to a lot of Tarzan Boy too, man. It's a good song. Good song.
It's a great song.
So we get down to eventually Jungle Boy and Phoenix, and holy shit, these two delivered. I don't know what else to tell people, but Jungle Boy's the future of this company, and Phoenix is someone that you can count on.
Yes.
He's someone that I definitely want to see more of when it comes down to being in the ring. He's just great, dude. Like, when you talk about the AEW video game and stuff that's coming out, this is what I want. Like, Phoenix, Jungle Boy doing all this craziness in it. Eventually, it ends with... So, Jungle Boy went to the outside. Ray Phoenix does this crazy-ass flip into the crowd, basically. They both get back in because he's got to eliminate him. He's looking like, like it's a regular match. And the ref's like, get your ass in here. You got to throw him over the top rope to win.
Right.
Ray Phoenix gets in. Jungle Boy grabs him. He goes to throw him out. Ray Phoenix does the swoopy leg thing like the 619. Comes back in. Spinning heel kick to the clothesline over the top rope. What started off as Derek saying, slow the fuck down, became really, really good.
Yes. This was the time where you picked up the pace. In the beginning, it's a slow burn. It's methodical. No rushing in the beginning. You have so many teams in here that are coming in. I know you gotta get the other team out, but have a game plan. Don't just come in guns blazing. Now, when you get to the end like this, then you start letting things go.
I think people were just doing too much. Like, Matt Seidel's brother and him, like, doing too much in a battle royal. Yo, bro, I always said, if I'm in a battle royal, just be the dude that's clubbing someone in the back and in the corner sometimes. If it's not your time, you don't need to be out there doing stuff.
Exactly.
Pro Wrestling Shoot in the house. What's good, Jesse? B-Boy Skyline said Buffalo versus everyone. Malik Murray's got a question for us. Malik, save that for when we get to that segment. We're going to probably start breezing through the rest of this because the notes are getting smaller. But we'll talk about the big scoop next. We gave this match a B+. I thought Fenix did a great job in this. Interview with, well, it's the big scoop. Derek said on the last podcast, 3/3/21 Dynamite, that he liked Big Show. Rob was supposed to clip it. Derek said that shit. It's in the books. But
back then, bro.
He said no talent can outwork the person that's the surprise tonight. We'll get to that. I know you guys already know who it is. We'll get to it. AEW Women's Title match, Ryo Mizunami versus Hikaru Shida. The story here was that Shida couldn't beat Mizunami for the past 10 years or whatever, and she was going to fight her here and try to defeat her. This match just came off as... It wasn't
bad.
It was good in ring, but we didn't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't care about this. It was very tough, man.
I think it was more so about the story than the match itself. There was nothing really big hit, that kind of caught our eye or anything like that. It was just like it was there. Now I feel like in my own opinion, I feel like if this match was a little bit more technical, maybe that would have changed my outlook on it, but it wasn't, so it was just there.
Right? I don't know what to say here with this. Eventually, so she hit like a corkscrew knee. Shida basically did the same finish over and over and over and over until she finally got the win.
Yes. Didn't we have a match like that before?
So I was explaining this to Casey because he had called me on the phone. Shout out to Casey. New Japan does this a lot with like their finishes. Like you'll see somebody hit a finish and then they'll keep going for the finisher again and again until they catch them again and they're like, okay, now I can win from it. Right. And it felt like that with this. I don't know if that's just a style thing or what, but
it may be a style thing. Whatever.
We gave this a C+ because I didn't want to shit on this because some of the ring work was really good. It just didn't capture me, and I think it's because of the tournament, and I feel like Britt Baker is next in line, and we need to just get to Britt Baker versus Shida, and I feel like we're just wasting time to get there.
Yeah.
Like, Shida's just been champion, and you haven't been using Shida. That's another problem. Great women's matches with Britt Baker and other people, but then I'm like, well, where's Shida? There's not enough focus on this division. It's like jumpy.
Right, yeah, it's just all over the place. It's not explaining what they're trying to do. It's just there, and
right, you
can't have it that way.
So hold on, let me see here. I'm getting a bunch of messages in here. Jungle Boy will be a star of the future. Queen of the Indie said I'm surprised they did the battle royal so quick after the first match. I agree with that. I think they just didn't want to let you speculate really. I'm like, well, since the Young Bucks won, who could win the battle? I think they were like, get everybody out there so you're not thinking about it.
Right, yeah.
Matt Lopez said, man, Jungle Boy will be a star in the future. BJ said, so many things I saw in this show. I want to be in the game minus the Gilbert part. Six said, I still can't believe Paul is in AEW. This was a running joke a few months ago. This is true. Someone's getting chokeslammed. I gotta see Paul White versus Marco. I gotta see it. I need to see that match. Big Show can still go, but his opponents are limited. Yeah, with what they can do with him. That match kept getting better, but the kick at the end threw me off for the finish. Six said he thought it was a pretty decent match. If I had to give it a word, it would be predictable. We knew Shida wasn't going to lose the match. It was kind of like the tournament finals with Nyla. You're not going to bring someone all the way over here from Japan to quarantine for 2 weeks. Like, I don't want to say some of this stuff because it ruins the show for people, but you're not bringing someone over here from Japan to quarantine for 2 weeks to lose to somebody.
Right, yeah.
Sorry.
It just doesn't make any kind of sense to do that. So,
right? Let me see here. This is exactly what I thought was a New Japan type ending, but it felt like they did the last 10 minutes of a New Japan quick style in the last 4 minutes. I think Britt should be the champion. She has been the most used in storylines without being champion. Matt, I
agree with that. I agree with that.
We find out Double or Nothing is going to be Sunday, May 30th. Not a fan of the Sundays. So anybody can argue with me. This is a personal thing. So here, sometimes It's not about the business part. I can bring up the business part and why, yeah, you should do it on a Sunday. I get it. But fuck that. I want them on Saturdays. It's better and it gives me 2 days to recover versus 1.
Yes.
I don't give a shit if Labor Day's the next day. I want to watch it on a Saturday, personally. Yeah. I'm not feeling that.
No
the
date change after Labor Day.
All right. Wrestling #wrestling fashion police over here.
No.
Tyler Breeze, Derek, and Fandango.
Listen, I'm wearing white after Labor Day. I don't care nothing about that.
Next match. Let's get into Miro and Kip Sabian versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. Before the match even begins, they are jumped backstage. Miro throws Chuck Taylor's head through a window that was exposed, and Orange Cassidy gets his ass beat. They bring him down like during their entrance and throw him in the ring. He's bleeding from his forearm and a little bit on his head. And he picks him up and he says, all you have to do is say something. I don't know what he wanted him to say. Like, I'll be your butler again. I'll be your friend. He puts the mic to his face and he says, ring the bell. This leads to a matchup between them. Miro and Kip basically beat his ass. Orange Cassidy comes out, wants the hot tag. Eventually Orange gets to do the kicks. He does all of the spots. And then we get the spot where Penelope jumps up on the rope and Miro pushes Orange into Penelope to get an advantage because screw your best friend's girl. Who cares about her? I'm trying to win this match.
Exactly. And this is where everything is going to begin the beginning of the end.
So afterwards, Miro eventually tags in Kip, and then Kip tags him back in to finish the match because he's checking on Penelope, and he's like, screw that, I'm winning the match. Right. Puts Chuck in the game over, the former Accolade, break back, make humble, cheeky baby style, and he is forced to tap out. We gave this a B- for like the jumping and the advancing of Miro. It was there. It was okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm still gonna stand where I stand with Kip. I don't care for Kip at all. Kip is decent at best. He just doesn't strike me. He's more of like I would expect Kip to be a manager more than a wrestler. I just don't buy into him and his style at all.
Right. I'm trying to see Six Set hitting the same move over and over again. It's the Marshawn Lynch mind frame. Just keep running through a mother effer until they don't want to be ran through anymore. BJ says Saturdays are much better. Tony announced a lot more Sunday pay-per-views. Hold on. So I'm going to just finish this off. Miro's definitely going to do what you said afterwards with this. Here's my issue with what's going on with the pay-per-views, Jesse. Fuck. I'm glad I put explicit on this. Fuck. Okay, so when you look at this pay-per-view and what they've been doing with this, so you're telling me you're going to do Sundays for some of them, and then when it's Full Gear again, you're going to go back to Saturday? I think you got to keep the pay-per-views on one day so people will remember. Do you know how many people were asking, like, wasn't there supposed to be an AEW pay-per-view today when it was that February day? And I'm like, no, they moved it to March 7th. They didn't do a really good job of explaining all this to people, so they're going to have to harp on these dates a little bit more, I think, to get people excited for them and whatnot. And if they happen on Sundays, so be it. But my point is, I prefer them on Saturday as a fan.
Yeah.
Nothing against it. I just don't get it. Six said, not a fan of Sunday pay-per-views either. I'm in my 30s and I'm starting to have a lower back problems. I'm getting set in my ways and I have shit to do on Mondays. I need my rest. Have it on Saturday. Respect, Sick. Tokyo Rockstar said, put pay-per-views back on Saturday. Simp Sapien.
That's the only time that works. It's the only time it works.
Oh, I'm dead, bro. Oh, my God.
It's the only time it works, bro.
Oh, my Lord, tonight. Please, guys, I got to make it through this. Saturday pay-per-view is the best. He agrees with us. I agree consistency is the key. The bathroom break match, somebody said. I'll move forward from this. Alex Marvez is backstage. Jericho calls him a fathead or some bullshit. MJF, Santana, and Ortiz. Jericho says it's time for some changes to be made in the Inner Circle, so they are going to have an Inner Circle War Council. MJF agrees on Jericho when he says that they need to change. And MJF says, yeah, I agree, we need to. Here comes this Rock bullshit. I'm telling you, it's going to be The Rock and Farouk. If you remember, The Rock in the Nation of Domination, got to remind you guys again, this is how I think it's going to go down. Exact same way. Farouk was about to kick The Rock out of the Nation because he was like, oh, hell no, you trying to take over my group. You trying to be the man. And he was like, yo, get his punk ass. And then Rock picked up the mic and said, no, Farouk, the joke's on you. Yep. And they beat Farouk's ass and kicked him out of the Nation. And Rock became the new leader.
Yep.
I wonder if that's what's going to happen with MJF. We need to get to the payoff of this. This has been going on for far too long.
Yeah, it's been stretched out quite a bit. So we're already at the point where Sammy left.
Yeah, Sammy's gone.
Everybody else is just kind of up in arms about things, and then they brush it off like, okay, well, Sammy's gone. We don't care about Sammy anymore. Yada yada yada. You do. So let's just get to the part where you finish the Inner Circle.
We'll talk about this when we get to the Dynamite review. I'm sure we'll have some more to say.
Oh, yeah.
Next, we have the big money match, Matt Hardy versus Adam Hangman Page. I thought this was kind of cool, bringing the money aspect into it. My prediction for this one was that you could do a lot of different things with this. And this was pretty dope. Like I said, I think you do some great vignettes with Matt Hardy being broke. I spoiled the winner already. But they brawled into the crowd. Hangman Page is jumping off of rails onto Matt Hardy. Hangman's hand hits the post. His right hand becomes the focus of the match because that's the arm he uses to hit the buckshot lariat. He hits the dead eye on Matt Hardy, and he's going for the pin, but then Private Party interfere. And the numbers game do not work for Hangman Page. But his friends in the Dark Order come out, and they say, no. We can't have this. And eventually Hangman Page, after the distraction, gets knocked over while he's on the apron setting up for the buckshot lariat. The Dark Order catch him, push him back up into the buckshot lariat. Matt Hardy eats shit. 1, 2, 3. Hangman Page gets the victory. Matt Hardy's AEW undefeated pay-per-view streak comes to an end. Great B for this. I thought that was a really cool ending, though, to have the Dark Order catch him. They're like, go get him, buddy. And then he does the flip over right into it. It was perfect. Now we can see some cool vignettes. I want to see Matt Hardy, like, he gets into some big shit, and they say, like, your bank accounts are locked up. You can't get to any of your money right now. There was a breach in some of your stuff. We can't let you get to any of your reserve funds. He's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? They start repossessing his shit. They take away his fancy cars. His kids don't have any cool clothes. Like, I would play this whole thing up. They're like walking around dirty little monsters. His wife doesn't have any fancy dresses or any of that shit. She's got to wear like Payless shoes, and she's pissed. What the hell, Matt? Blah, blah, blah. And Matt's just eating shit for a week. And he's like, Private Party, you guys got to go make some money for me. Right. And then the moment they try to steal some money, Hangman Page comes around. I'll be taking that. Boop. Yep. Mm-hmm. And he takes the money away. You could have some fun with this and then have Matt transition into another character after.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Hardy's best match in AEW to date. Me and Rob were definitely saying that in this. I thought that was really good.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Mike Freeland said, okay, what the F did I watch tonight? Mike, you tell me, bro. You tell me. Broke ass Matt Hardy, Matt Lopez said, Dark Order and Hangman is a better love story than Twilight. I like it.
We're not going to talk about that.
I've never seen the Twilight movies.
Listen. I'm going to subject myself to this. I watched Twilight. I was highly disappointed.
You cut it out.
Listen, that last fight scene.
You watched all of them?
I watched all of them because they said there was a big payoff.
Oh.
There was not a big payoff. That was a big piece of shit.
No spoilers. You're not making me want to see this.
You don't want to.
I'm with BJ. I want to see the Dark Order Hangman Page love story here. Let me see here. The Repo Man shows up at the Hardy compound. Matt Lopez, book it. Call Barry Darsow up. Yeah. I'll take it. Homeless Matt Hardy, Hobo Hardy. My gosh.
Got this man choking.
I can't. I'm about to sound like JR in a little bit.
Matt Hardy's kid looking like a little street urchin.
Mike said, I'd rather pay $60 to hear your thoughts. Listen, this is on the house. This is free. You guys just show up and listen, bro. That's all that I ask for it. That goes all the way back to the sponsors. And I do have to show some love to our friends, the Pro Wrestling Shoot. They are in here as well. There's an ad for them every week on the podcast, so make sure you guys check Jesse out. Queen of the Indies, the All Elite podcast. I'm going to show them some love too. And Everything College Basketball, my good friends from there. They all have some really dope materials that they work on every single week. I might as well just throw them all in here now. Powerslam.tv, we have a promo code EPW show if you guys want to check that out as well. And when you're not talking about Twilight with Derek, I would highly recommend you get into that bathroom and get to clipping. You guys can go to manscaped.com and use our promo code EPW show to keep yourself trim and winning. Very inappropriate, Derek. But I'll allow it for now. I'll allow it. But manscaped.com, promo code EPW show if you want to start a revolution. So I had to wait till the picture popped back up for it. But Face of the Revolution ladder match. You won't need Manscaped for this. We have Cody versus Pentagon versus Scorpio Sky versus Lance Archer versus Platinum Max, one of my favorites now, versus a to-be announced. Number one, the Sonic ring was hanging above the ring for this matchup. If I could play the music and not get copyright striked, I would. Shout out to Michael Jackson for the music too.
I'll create my own page and get the copyright strike. I'm not gonna care about it.
Yeah, you would. You just wouldn't care about copyright strikes. This is why Derek's not allowed to touch anything on this channel. 6, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Jacob.
Peace, bro. He liked that movie. Don't let Derek front and then tell you guys this stuff. All right.
No,
Nobody watches Twilight anymore. He said.
I wouldn't wipe my ass with that.
Listen. Me and Rob were talking about this during the matchup. Rob's probably downstairs just chilling. But Face of the Revolution ladder match. He said that they have the brass ring that they're reaching for. They should just put a glass ceiling above it. That you got to break through the glass ceiling to grab the brass ring. Just play on words. So everybody was wondering, who's the big to be determined, the guy who's supposed to be in this? It was all ego Ethan Page. Ethan Page from Impact Wrestling. You wouldn't know that because you don't watch Impact Wrestling. Scared you, didn't I? You wouldn't know that. Ethan Page shows up, and he is the guy. We'll see what he does. I don't know what's the plans for him.
Did he do a lot in Impact?
He was in a tag team, though. He was in the North, and the North was a really good tag team.
So that answers my question.
He did a lot. Listen, they were the champs for a year. They did it. They were great tag team champions, I'll say. Like, I think if they had more people to work with, they would have been even better.
Did he do a lot?
Yeah, he was Karate Man, too.
No, Karate Man.
Look it up. You'll laugh.
That sounds like complete, utter bullshit.
Look it up and you'll laugh.
Oh, my God.
At one point, Jack Evans ran out. He was in the tag battle royal, too. Jack Evans, showed up a couple times on the show. Why? Platinum Max, Ladder Max, whatever you want to call him. He's out here, and 10 is trying to stop Jack Evans from him using the boombox again. And he says, "What the hell are you doing?" Spine buster to Jack Evans. Spine on the pine.
On the pine.
Double A would be proud.
Horseman.
Pentagon destroyed Cody.
Oh.
Destroyed this man. He hit a... P.D. Williams is probably somewhere cringing. He hits a freaking destroyer on top of a ladder. Cody is taken out. Out. He was done. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice, I think. He's taken out of the match. He's finished. Finito, done. And Cody's trying to do the fighting thing, and he's in the tunnel. You can see him just let me go. I can do this. So he's waiting for his spot. Sky hits a great frog splash on Max Caster from the ladder. Let me say this.
Beautiful.
In this match, people who got fucked up the most, Cody was number 1. Max Caster was probably number 2. These dudes were getting the shit beat out of them.
Yes.
Just terrible spots. So I was like, Jesus, bro. Chill out on them.
Yeah. They were definitely getting hit hard in this match. it's just there.
Six said, "Damn, Derek, I wasn't expecting you to answer that, dog." Malik Murray says he's got a question for us. Why do people hate Cody? He said that he has not been in a match. What are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes' booking in AEW? I'll let you take that one, Derek.
All right. So
are you a Cody guy or do you hate Cody?
I like Cody.
Queen of the Indies, if she's still in here, I know she is not a Cody fan.
Why not?
I don't know. Tiff just says, like, she said if he won this match, she was throwing the controller through the TV because she is not a fan. But I think she just wants someone else to be in the spotlight.
But is he really in the spotlight, though?
I don't think so. I think Cody has done his best. And here's my problem. I saw people complaining that Cody was in the match. And I'm like, well, the dude's got to do something. He can't just not wrestle either,
right,
you know?
Yeah, he has to be involved.
I don't know. I think Cody does a good job. I think out of all of the EVPs, I think Cody puts the most people over.
Yes.
At first, I was going to say it was the Bucks, but then I think Cody eventually took that spot and said, no, I'll put this guy over.
Yeah, that's why he needs to be in these kinds of matches. Because think about it.
He lost to Darby, he lost to Shaq, and he just lost in this.
Right. And let's think about it. Who's the next best person that you would bring in that is willing to put somebody else over them, knowing they have top star quality? You know, like who else is gonna do it? Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho can do it, but he's only gonna do it for certain people.
And for so long.
There's nobody else who's really gonna try and put somebody over just to put them over.
Let me catch some of these before I lose them. Matt Lopez, I thought Warhorse was the sixth guy after he lost his IWTV Championship Saturday night at New South Wrestling. Ethan Page, character-wise, is going to be big on AEW, BJ says. Matt Lopez, he's coming in with the education. He said the North are one of the best tag teams in Impact since the Lucha Bros and Santana and Ortiz left. I got to say facts on that, bro. They were all in there, too, at one point in time as the tag team champs, and they were great.
They were in Impact.
Cody's arm is definitely broken. I think he's there's something wrong with his shoulder, Ace, I believe. Bryce Remsburg was either worried about an explosion or... Whoa, I'm not saying that. I don't want to get into that, Mike. Matt Lopez says it was going to be weird for AEW after tonight because it looks like two of their top guys are taking time off to be new daddies. BJ said Lance waited 9 years to have the Sky Powerbomb on him. Let's see here. He's getting into the main event. Well, I promise, Mike, we're going to get to that sooner than later. Let's move through this. Sky hits the frog splash on Max. Cody eventually gets hit with a back superplex, which took out his back from the top. Lance Archer moves out of the way. Platinum Max off the top of the ladder with an elbow to Cody's back while he's hunched over. What the hell? Like I said, Cody got effed up in this match, and this is after he came back. Jake comes in, he hits a short arm clothesline. Jake gets too excited when he comes. He's like, oh yeah, I get to do this again. And he was like, it was like, Jake, wrong arm, bro. He's like, my bad. Boom. Eat that clothesline. Pentagon super kicks him. Lots of fun in this match, I just thought. I think that it really worked. We were talking about it, and some people thought it didn't work, and I thought it had me engaged enough to where I was like, this was good.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
I felt like it was. I felt like it was a good match. I think the disadvantage was you had three people who are not used to this match.
Who were the three you said?
What was it?
Ethan Page,
Max, and
who? Cody, Pentagon, Scorpio, Lance Archer. Lance Archer played the big man role, so kind of, you know what I mean? You're there to help hold the ladder, do spots with it.
Right, but in a traditional ladder match, high-flying kind of stuff, Lance Archer just seemed out of place.
Right, he did like that big superplex. Like, that was his big spot kind of in this.
Yeah, and I felt like he should have had more than just that.
To me, they don't have like the WWE feel, if that's what you're expecting from a Money in the Bank style match. You can't expect that from this. So Cody and Scorpio Sky, everyone else is down. They're battling it out on top of the ladder. Scorpio Sky pie faces the shit out of Cody. He's got the bad shoulder. Cody falls like a ton of bricks. He grabs the Sonic ring. The music hits. Not the Sonic music, but Scorpio Sky's theme hits.
It hit.
Well, because you played it.
But
jerk. So then he raises up the ring. So he is getting the TNT title shot on Dynamite. Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin is going to be something remarkable, but that's if Darby survived a street fight. We gave that a B-.
Right. Now, do you think like this is the moment that we start seeing a push for Scorpio Sky?
I think so. I think that's why they gave him this. I think his injury prevented him from getting the push before because they were like, let's wait. We're going to do something with you, but let's wait. But they did take him out of SCU for a reason, in my opinion.
Yes.
Somebody said, reach for the sky. Sorry for the Woody voice. I think it was a good match, but I think certain guys didn't fit the ladder match, but the right guy won.
Yes.
Respect. They could I keep going back to what Mike said. Mike, I want to read that comment so bad about the smoke right above this. We'll get into it. Here we go. Well, it's the big scoop. Who is the big signing, Derek, that came in to AEW? This is probably something everybody wants to talk about in the chat. I like that. Is that how you roll?
Mm-hmm.
Captain Charisma, Christian Cage is back. This has TNA feeling all over it. And I knew once the countdown started to hit, and before it hit, like once it got to like 3, I was like, yo, it's Christian Cage. I can hear the music. The whole and I was just like, son of a pup. Here's my thing with the Christian Cage running TNA. Get mad at me if you want. I love when Christian came to TNA because I thought this was a big chance for him to become a world champion. He did. Here's the problem with it. Once Christian got to TNA, it was all good until they got Kurt Angle. And then they were like, you know what? Fuck this guy. We got Kurt Angle now. And he went right back to the position he was in before. Right. So he might as well have gotten paid if you were going to do that to him. Bullshit, in my opinion.
Yep.
Just me.
No, I agree.
But you're the fan. Like, how is there not a spot for Christian with Edge right now? Dude, it was a layup at Fastlane. Edge and Christian versus the Usos if they were ready. Or it could have been Edge and Christian versus Roman and Jey Uso. How?
One of those
How
should
did
have
you let
been
that
in the
happen?
plans. Yeah, one of those should have been in the plans. Like that was a given. If you let Edge come back, you had to have let Christian come back. You can't just have one without the other. It just doesn't work that way.
Bro, I don't understand how this happened. But at the same time, I think Christian Cage is a very good worker, and a lot of people spoke complimentary of his ring work, his footwork in the ring, everything. So I'm happy it was Christian, but there's about to be a rant. I'm telling you right now. So I'm going to read what you guys have to say before I go on my rant. BJ said he even had his old TNA music. I love that song, actually, that he had. Christian Cage, I got it right. Christian Cage with the old TNA theme was so awesome. He was great till that Tomko story. AEW suffers with so many guys on there and less TV time. Yeah, they got to add that up. They got to get that second show. They need it.
That second show needs to happen ASAP.
So let me get into this real quick then. The whole Christian Cage thing. Tony Khan. You cannot fuck this stuff up. And it was your... So I blame... This is going to go like even. Tony Khan gets more of the blame because he's the owner of the company. You hype this shit up like this guy's great. Mark, you're gonna love it. He's Hall of Fame worthy. He's blah blah blah. He's this. Is Christian Hall of Fame worthy? Yes. But you got the internet wrestling community in a fucking frenzy. They were looking up Rob Van Dam, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar. I saw some shit about Ken Shamrock. Like, people were thinking crazy shit eventually. And I'm like, dude, what is going on with you guys? Like, you're setting yourselves up for disappointment. Wrestling community, that's on you a little bit. But Tony Khan, you and this fucking Dixie Carter shit, you can't Dixie Carter yourself into situations. Promising shit that's supposed to be so great, so fabulous, you fuck this up.
Yes.
That's how I feel. You cannot overpromise on stuff like that. You're better off under-delivering. If he wouldn't have said shit and Christian just came out, this would have been way cooler than everybody like, oh God. It seemed like he was trying to get people to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let things happen naturally, and this was one of those situations where it should have just been natural, and you wouldn't have to try and get people to buy into it.
Right. Let me see here. 6 said Christian and Kurt had their best runs and most memorable moments in TNA. Too bad nobody ever gave a shit about TNA to care. I think Kurt had his better... Stop it. I think Kurt had his... I love Kurt's WWE stuff, but I think his in-ring work was I think he spent more time in TNA than WWE, I think, almost. Like it's crazy.
It seems like it.
Pro Wrestling Shoe said, I'm good on Christian being in AEW. This shit is getting out of hand for me on AEW. Elaborate on that maybe, Jesse, and I'll see if I can get to it. I got a question here, but there were nobody else like CM Punk or Brock Lesnar. They're not coming to AEW. They're definitely not coming because Punk said it wasn't him. Batista said the same thing. And Brock Lesnar's not leaving Vince. If Brock said he was going to AEW, Vince McMahon is going to shit out double the money. Double. He will find a way to be like, how much they offering you?
Being generous, bro. He doubling. Like,
he will
give him more.
He's giving Brock whatever he wants. He's like, you want to only work 5 days a year? I got you.
Yeah.
I'll pay you the same amount.
Yep, same amount. You come at any time you want to come in for those 5 days.
Exactly. He knows what he's doing, bro. Like, he's not leaving. He's gonna play them. He's gonna play them against each other, obviously, to get the max amount of money. But that's just what it is. Right. And Punk's gonna come back to wrestling when he wants to come back, or if he wants to come back. I've given up on the CM Punk theory, and everyone in the chat will tell you I'm the biggest CM Punk fan. I love CM Punk, but he's coming back when he wants to come back. I'm not speculating on that shit anymore. I don't care. I gave up after the I forgot what Chicago show was. Maybe it was All Out or something. I think it was All Out. I was like, Punk didn't show up. Fuck it. He's not coming.
Yeah.
I was done with it ever since then.
Yeah, if he was coming, he would have done it by now, and it's just not happening.
Six said Vince will go broke to keep Brock. He won't go that far, I don't think, but he'll do whatever he can to keep him. He's got the money.
He might go on the cusp of trying to go broke to keep him in.
So let's get into this street fight really quick. We got Brian Cage and Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin and Sting. Taz was on commentary for this one.
Ricky.
That was for you, Jocelyn.
Yes, ma'am.
Brian Cage and Ricky Starks drive to a undisclosed location in what I assume is Tony Khan's car, wearing bulletproof vests. This looked like some G-Unit video game shit. I don't know what was going on. They walk out to the location. Sting and Darby show up with a tape deck playing Darby's theme. It was pretty cool how Sting and Darby's face paint matched each other for what they were doing here. In the beginning of the match, Darby was like thrown on the outside of this little area they were in with a wrestling ring, and Darby hopped off the wall. Like, it was super small. He threw him off a brick wall. He lands feet first and grabbed something and then fell back into like a coffin drop and got caught. And they were like, he's like Spider-Man. Darby, whoever picked this spot, it was really cool. Like, you could do a lot of different shit here.
It was. I feel like he picked that spot. They let him pick that.
Darby seems like he knew what he was doing in there. He seemed comfortable out of everybody, like, with all the shit. Eventually, this match is just a beat-down brawl. Everybody's fighting everywhere. I couldn't tell if Sting had a stunt double for parts of it. I feel like he did, but I can't say that for sure.
Some of them did look like he had a stunt double, because just some of the movements, it didn't look like it was natural Sting. Right,
but I don't know, man. Sting still went in there and did his thing. I was happy with how they did this.
Oh, yeah.
The movements and stuff just felt very video game-like. It reminded me like Resident Evil during certain parts. I don't know if I'm just tripping. Video gamers, you could tell me how you feel. Eventually, though, Hobbs shows up with Hook. Hobbs shows up and just starts beating ass. And Hook starts throwing people with judo throws down on the floor. This was really cool. Darby ends up going through a glass like, you know, you pick up your little brother, you swing him. They were doing that with Darby, and they just throw him through a glass. He's eventually up top somewhere fighting, and throws a bat down to Sting. Sting catches the bat. He just starts busting heads. Head bust a little scrappy. He's just taking people out by the knees with the bat. He's breaking the bat over people. Really cool moment here. Darby eventually does a coffin drop on someone through everything. So that's the end of Cage and Darby. Like, they're both just done.
Put him through a coffin.
And they eventually do the coffin drop. He's down. Sting is in the ring. He's battling Ricky Starks. Scorpion death drop. 1, 2, 3. Sting and Darby win. Grade B. What I expected from this.
Yep. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right. And the Face of the Revolution ladder match, I don't know if I said it, but B- we gave that one.
I think you did, but we'll recap on it again.
Matt Jackson versus Fenix will be on AEW Dynamite. We also have Baker, who else was there? Nyla Rose and Maki Ito versus Shida, Mizunami, and Thunder Rosa. 6-woman tag match. We've got the Inner Circle debacle and Darby versus Scorpio Sky. I'm telling you, six-man titles are probably coming, D. I'm telling you.
I don't want to see that.
Let me recap with the chat real quick here. When AEW started, I was excited about something different. Nikes. Hold on here. I feel like we're about to get some good conversation here. When AEW started, I was excited about something different. An alternative is what was promised. They had a great roster and effed it up by focusing on WWE castaways. It's starting to feel like TNA. Do you feel the same way, Derek?
Yes, sir.
You think it? So you think they're doing way too many WWE people?
Way too many.
Let me ask you this. Hold on, though. I'm going to present a different question. Who would you sign? Because at this point, to me, there's nobody on the indies.
Right.
Impact's got who they want locked up.
Right.
Who else are you signing? There's no one else to sign at this point. You're not getting Roman. You're not getting Brock. You're not getting anybody who's doing shit in WWE. You're waiting for people like Cesaro, Ricochets. You guys want those people signed, right? Who do you sign then if you're AEW? You want more? I hear people complain, who the hell's Lee Johnson and who the F is Griff Garrison? They signed these guys too. If they signed a bunch of them, you'd be like, who are they? What are they doing?
The man, world's stiffest legs ever.
I just think it's unfair to say that, though. Like, everybody in wrestling does what they do.
I mean, eventually I'm going to have to come to terms with how they're doing things. Just go on.
Yeah.
It's got me speechless right now. I just don't.
There's no proper answer for it, though. Like, no matter what you do, there's nobody that you'd be like, yeah, I would sign them then. Or I would pick this person. You can't get Nick Aldis. He's NWA exclusive. Like, there's just nobody there.
Right, yeah.
Our Dubs have second best cinematic match done. Excuse me, I'm sorry. As for what was said about Tony and the hype, it's a rare occasion tonight. It may be better than worse, but you can't do this again for a while. Malik says he's got a question. I think it's more like this is why people hate Cody, because he's half owner of AEW. He's not an owner of AEW, though. He's just a vice president. I think people just assume he's playing the Triple H role because he was the champion at first.
But Triple H doesn't put people over, so.
I think, chill with that. He does now. I don't know. Triple H had his time period of, what do I want to call it? The reign of terror, I guess, from like that 02 to 04,
Man,
05.
From the start of his career up until now.
It just depends on your era and stuff. Malik, Narcolepsy Boys in the House, what's going on? Subscribe to Malik's channel. Sometimes you'll catch me on there, part of the Six Pack. Let me see here. People were mad about Sting coming back at 61, but he looked really good in this match. I'm happy for Sting. He's going out on his terms.
He did look really good in this match. Like he looked like he put in the time and effort to stay in shape.
See, so Six said, I told C, he's talking about me the other day, Pro Wrestling Shoot, I'm getting worried if Hulk Hogan shows up and starts cutting promos about how if AEW is going to take WWE to task, I'm done. Maki is awesome, enjoyable cinematic match. Indies have plenty, dude. Who else, though, right now is on the indies that you're taking, though, that's ready? Do you know what I mean? Like, listen, I love Big Game Leroy. Is Big Game Leroy ready? I don't think so. I think he's ready to be the face of a company on the indie scene, a couple of them. But is he ready for AEW signing? And would you be like, ooh and ah, if he got it? I don't think people would. Marty the Moth Martinez is from Lucha Underground, and he's signed to the Nightmare Family. I didn't hear anybody making a big deal about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right, yeah.
There's got to be some type of balance with this shit. And also, remember, Sting's going to be gone soon. Jericho might be gone soon. I'm trying to think of who else is around. Luther's going to be gone soon. We can go through. A bunch of guys are going to leave.
Hell, I mean, you can even say Cody will be gone soon. Just be like,
they can retire whenever they want. Like, right, they can be like, yeah, I'll sit back. I get wrestlers need work, but doesn't exactly mean it's going to improve the quality of the show. Who did the biggest numbers for AEW? Sting.
Sting, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who did the biggest numbers? Shaq. They want the names that are already known.
Right, exactly.
It's a tough thing, Jesse. That's something maybe we could talk about on the podcast. I think that'd be an interesting discussion to go back and forth on. Honestly, the AEW roster wasn't ready for AEW signing. Did you see all the botches tonight? It was an effing mess.
It was. But see, that goes back to what I said before. Slow down. You're trying to do too much with the time that you have.
R-Dub, another good point. What about all the agreements with Impact, New Japan, AEW? You don't know how that's all going to play out. And do you want to be known as the backstabbing villainous snake? AEW signs Okada. You think New Japan's going to be happy about that? I hope you don't come over to Japan to do a show, because they're going to make sure you don't come back. And be like, nope, not in this arena. Beat it.
Right, exactly.
I don't want to do business with you. Because they're going to feel like you stabbed them in the back. Good points. This might be a discussion for the future, though. I like this discussion because it's all good, perfect wording and playing with it. But we got to figure out a better time to talk about this because it could get super deep. So we talked about that. Let's get into this main event. Lordy, 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 lordy. The explosion, barbed wire landmine death match with Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega for the AEW World Title. Moxley comes to the ring drinking a flask. Kenny Omega's eyebrows are gone. Now, some of you may have not even noticed this until I brought that up. What the fuck happened to Kenny Omega's eyebrows? Like, they were shaved off. I don't know who did this. Bryce Remsburg is dressed like he's in the E.T. movie. I don't know what is going on in this. The match starts off with some serious back and forth. They're just trying to throw each other into the barbed wire to see what happens here. And it's not working. No. They're both blocking it. They know what's coming. And eventually, Moxley gets a barbed wire back. Kenny throws powder into his eyes. And then we get the first explosion into the barbed wire. Moxley is bleeding. We see the sparks fly off. If you guys have never seen those FMW old school matches, it's definitely something dope. I see what people are already commenting on. We'll get to it, I promise. Here we go. So Moxley's then a bloody mess throughout this match. What my favorite spot in the match, the One Wing Angel is hit 1, 2, and Moxley tries to put his foot on the ropes, but what it does is it sends off a blast into Kenny Omega's face. So he never really kicked out of the One Wing Angel. He put his foot on the rope to get Kenny off of him. Right. So that worked out beautifully. Yeah, that was dope. And eventually afterwards, we find out that Kenny Omega had a exploding bat set up with barbed wire. He hits Jon Moxley with it. Moxley eventually sees the explosion. He's down for the count. Dude, that was just terrible. Here come the Good Brothers for a run-in. They help beat down Moxley. A bloodied Moxley is put up onto Kenny Omega's shoulders. One Wing Angel through the steel chair. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega gets the win. Good Brothers help him out. I gave this a grade of an A- at this point in the match. Yes. A beatdown happens afterwards. For some reason, Moxley has no friends. And then the countdown starts to go off. Because they said the main point of this was after 30 minutes expire, pyro was going to go off. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. That was the buildup, right? It was supposed to hype you up for it. They handcuffed him. They leave him there. Eventually, people are trying to run out to help him. Eddie Kingston is the only one who can get in the ring on the side that's open. He gets into the ring. The time's going down. He can't pick Moxley up because he's dead weight. And he gets on top of Moxley, and we get the worst fucking explosion since Gilbert's entrance. What a fucking disappointment, bro.
There were so many things that should have happened with that did not happen.
R-Dub said them sparklers in the chat. They didn't get enough fireworks tent at Walmart from the fireworks tent at Walmart. Flaccid ass pyro. Shit was built up to let us down. That was the coming to America to a pyro. Yeah. Nick Gage looked at this and said, I can be more violent than this. Gilbert had better sparklers. Eddie Kingston is a hero. Ace World said, Narcolepsy Boy said, much respect to Moxley and Omega. Really good match, I thought, but the explosion was buns. So let me tell you guys this. I told Derek this towards the end when we were coming up. I had a job that dealt with this type of stuff before. And I've seen where people say like, oh, my pyro's going to work or whatever, or this is going to work. And it doesn't. You know why? Because they don't always work. It's not the easiest thing either to be like, yeah, this is going to work. Yeah, I've seen it where the demo works and then it's like, all right, when we do this, it's going to be great. Oh, it's not working, this piece of shit. And then they go to kick it. Boom! Yeah, because now it worked. everything's got to be right. It's got to be like chemically right.
Yeah, it has to be put in place at the right time, and it just didn't seem that way.
Right. Let's see here. BJ said, I'm going to post the tweet AEW posted and explain from below. Narcolepsy Boy said, someone give Kingston an Oscar for selling that terrible shit. BJ said, John Moxley didn't regain the belt tonight, but he regained a friend in Eddie Kingston. Kingston came to save Moxley from the final blast, which wasn't enough to keep up Moxley and Eddie down for good. Kenny Omega may be a tough son of a bitch, but he can't make an exploding ring worth shit. Okay, all right. Gilbert Pyro. Kenny probably knew the explosion to the face was the spot and didn't want his eyebrows catching fire, so he shaved them. He might be right, yo. He might be right on that.
It's definitely possible.
Thing we want is the Michael Jackson 80s Pepsi commercial on our hands. R-Dub said they should have never booked that 30-minute countdown. R-Dub, here's the thing. That is usually how all those matches end, though.
Yeah.
That's just the thing that they do.
Yeah.
Benjamin Handshoe said match was great. I agree. I thought they did a great effort. I just think the build up to the final explosion lackluster.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tony said everyone was lucky that Kenny's plan was a dud. Okay. They're trying to play it off like Kenny was trying to do something, but it didn't work. I'm so underwhelmed by tonight's pay-per-view. However, very happy you guys are back. Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate that, brother. If you guys are in here and you haven't, hit that like button for me, man. I appreciate it. By the fans, for the fans. You guys know that's the motto. That is how we live on this channel. Okay, I have a question. I don't see any guys right now to build to take the title from Omega. Oh, there is Matt Lopez. It's Hangman Adam Page. He's just sitting and waiting until the right time and moment, and it's all going to come together for it.
Rematch.
Moxley's going away for baby duty now. We'll see. Duke Togo says, that was the worst botch I've seen since WCW 2000. The fact that Eddie was selling the sparklers like death was raining down on him and made it even better. I'll definitely remember it for years to come. Laugh out loud. So who's to challenge Kenny now? I would put Pac in the conversation.
Yeah, because actually they have a long-standing feud right now.
I think they have history you could play back off of.
Exactly. So I would like to see Pac go after the title and wrestle Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega would win, but it'd be nice to see Pac try to go for his redemption against Kenny Omega.
Matt Lopez says, I wonder if Omega will go back to Impact to challenge either Swan or Moose for the title since they're fighting next Saturday for the Impact title. Could be.
Yes. I say yes.
Could be. Malik Murray says, I don't know. I get a question. Tony Khan wants to make a scene. Kenny Omega at the Dynamite. He cut a promo and said, I trapped to the explosion. Listen, what they can say is they tried to put it together when they were doing the promo segment with Don Callis backstage. By the way, Don Callis, Tony Schiavone, funny as shit tonight against each other on the mics. They were going in. I think that they could do some different stuff and say they tried to plan for the explosions to go off, but it didn't work out the way they wanted it to.
Exactly, yeah. Next time go around.
Maybe. I don't think it was planned. Kingston wouldn't have been selling if that was the case. No, it was. I think it was planned for the. So in the end of those matches, there's supposed to be this big explosion. It's supposed to be like crazy, but they did it. It seemed like something didn't work. Like it fizzled out right when it first started, and it just didn't react the way it was supposed to. I don't want to say anything else because I'll probably get banned from YouTube if I start explaining how it was supposed to work, probably. But Pac and Fenix are going after the tag titles. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to beat the Young Bucks. And I think you can have Kenny help them and make that a way to play into it. We will probably get a Moose Hangman thing for a bit and then put Archer up from AEW until we get to Hangman. Yeah, there's a little bit of time. Rob said Archer too. I could definitely see it, but I don't want Archer losing anymore though either.
Yeah, no. This
let Pat go in there. Let someone else go in there and do it.
Yeah, this little in between that they've given Lance Archer between good guy and bad guy. It's
what you prefer him good or bad?
I prefer him bad. Just because of his
He's
size.
A heel. Right.
Just because of his size.
Should have just made the ring collapse. Went out like a dry whisper of a fart. Terrible. I meant the Moose and Kenny thing. Yeah, they could definitely do something with Moose and Kenny. I think Moose could be someone who beats Kenny if Kenny came to challenge for the Impact title too.
Oh yeah.
Moose has done great things recently. Overall grade though, guys. Chat, let me know. What did you think overall the grade should have been for this pay-per-view tonight? Derek, we didn't put down an overall grade. I know Casey said he felt like it was terrible. He called me right away to let me know, but I'm interested to see what everyone else thought. You can give it a grade. We do the usual school grades with this, so
I got a B- for it.
B-?
Yeah, just because the good outweighed the bad. We had some bad bullet points, but it wasn't.
It's not reflective. I think the match quality was good. Some of the booking is questionable.
Yes. Some of the booking is definitely questionable.
Maybe Kingston is going against Kenny. Could be. If you want to build him up. BJ said he's going B+ due to the ending. I'm going to say B- as well with you. I'll say overall B-, not one of their stronger shows. Rob says C+. That's right around the same range.
Yeah. No, it's nothing more, nothing less. I think it's just this was a card that was just kind of I don't want to say put together, but it made it tough. It seemed like this was a card that was tough to make.
No, I think that these guys had ample time to put together stories. I just think some of it just didn't pan out, and then some of the stuff left you hanging on for Dynamite that you're like, okay, I'll wait to see what happens on Dynamite with it.
True.
I'm seeing C+, C, B, B-. No, I am saying some people said this was the worst AEW pay-per-view. I still think it was All Out from 2020.
Yes. Yeah, that one was by far not as good as this.
The pay-per-view was okay. It was definitely better than that one pay-per-view we dare not mention. Oh, I just mentioned it. Ace World said B-, 5 out of 10. C+, I like the Tag Team Rumble. I did too, Ben. Confirmed. The People's Network, what's good? The Street Fight is quite good, though. I like it. There were certain matches you could all argue were the best parts of this. But I appreciate everybody who joined us for the live stream. We are going to try to be back Wednesday with AEW Dynamite. And like I said, just be on the lookout. There may be those little Tuesday podcasts coming up where we'll talk anything else but AEW, whether it's WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, NWA, Indies, whatever. We'll try to get back to that. So just give me a little bit of time. I will be having new rooms painted and a bunch of stuff happening in the house. So we'll be moving around and doing some different things. So be patient. We'll come back with some more podcasts. Join us Wednesday when we talk about AEW Dynamite right here on the channel. If you haven't, hit the subscribe button. And we are out. For myself, Derek.
Peace.